I've just always been taught, like, keep the club on like the left side of my body, keep it out in front of me, and um, that generally kind of produces a cut. I mean, obviously depending on where your club face is aiming, but yeah, technically, a cut. So I don't know if you can see the one tree out there that's, what tree it is, 260 or something like that. I'll probably look somewhere in line with, the right side of that, and um, try to hit a cut off of it, basically. Okay, so there's a pond obviously up there, so I can't go for it because there's a I guess probably the start of the pond is like 220 at least from here. So I just zapped the trees on the right, which I'm not gonna aim at, but it's good to know where they are at least. So I'm probably, front right pin, can't go for it, so I'll probably lay up in like a, I didn't even zap the pin, probably about 280, I would guess, right? So I'll try to hit this somewhere like in the 200 range. I have a 4-iron. It's a little downwind. I don't need to hit all of it. I probably only need to hit about 180 yards. It'll probably bounce, and I'll have like an 80-yard shot, just like some type of lob wedge, and hopefully knock it up. But go at that OB stake that's left of the green. Pushed it. That's my miss. But you pick a good target, and your miss won't be too bad if you pick the correct target. 115. Also, it's so cold here. I'm literally wearing 2 pairs of pants right now. 115. Well, so here's the thing is I actually took this off earlier and I was fine just in a golf shirt, but I'm like, no, I'm cold. I'm cold now. Okay, so 115. Pin is actually not as like tucked as I thought it was. Little down and left. 115 probably turns into 110 maybe. And then I don't know that I should land it pin high, but I don't think that it's going to hurt me either. So I could probably get away with like a 108 shot. I'll hit a 50. Should get there no problem. So I'll go 108. I'm going to go like just a flag, not the whole stick, just the flag left of this pin. I should cut it in there. Oh, massive bounce. Yeah, so really misfortunate or unfortunate bounce here. But I have a 60 in my hand, and I'll probably land it like somewhere, I don't know, like almost halfway, probably, right? Like greens aren't super fast, so I can kind of at least attempt to be a little aggressive. And I'm gonna go a smidge right. My fair share of like bump and runs and stuff like that. I'm lucky. Like Nick would always talk about like he'd have me come out here with like an 8-iron. You know what I mean? And we'd like come up to, here, and even, go into this pin, right? Like if I were to, walk you through like the 12, it's like a 12 club rule or something like that. But like basically you take, where your ball is, and you take the spot that you want to land it, right? So say it's like, so 1, 2, 3, right? Say you wanted to go here, okay? So basically I would take that 3, okay? So bear with me here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, great. So you take the total 9, divide it by 3, which is where you wanted to land it, just 3, right? So you would go and you would take your third club, right? So your 60, 54, and then your 50 degree, right? Theoretically speaking, you would take your 50 degree, land it at that spot, and it should work out good, right? So like, just little things like that. The only time you take a driver out of your hand is if there is hazard, right? If there's a hazard and don't have at least like 60 yards to deal with from hazard line to hazard line. If you don't have 60 yards, okay, does 3-wood take the hazard out of play? If it doesn't and you have to keep going, hit driver. If you have a 30 or 40 yard fairway or from line to line, hit driver, right? Like your shot dispersion should be within 30 yards, right? And then based on that, if you have that, okay, you're hitting driver. Okay, now you got to pick a good target, right? And picking the good target is based on your shot dispersion. You have to have a good understanding of what your misses are going to be, right? So like he would basically take, if you had 150 yards, right, and you took 5% of that, it's 5 yards, right? So 5 yards is your shot dispersion, right? So you need 5 yards left and right. So if you're going to go at this pin, right, which has, I played it earlier, it has about, 5 yards right of it, okay? So my shot dispersion, with it being 5 yards, if I had a 150 yard shot, like my target should be the pin, right? Say if there's 4 yards to the right, okay, my target should be 1 yard left of the pin. Does that make sense? So statistically, you try to take the emotions out of it. Oh, I'm hitting good, I'm just going to fire at it. No. Like play mathematical golf. But basically, so, on a par 4 like this, when it's not, you could hit a hybrid or even a 5-iron, you're still going to have a wedge in your hand. Like it's wide open, right? But even if it was only the length of the fairway, which is probably 25, 30 yards, right? I'm still going to hit driver. Like, especially if I were to take driver out of my hands, if 3-wood doesn't take the hazard out of play, I'm still hitting driver. You know what I mean? So there's no reason to make golf any harder by making it any longer. So yeah, I like to hit driver. Sometimes it may cost me sometimes with really hard little chip shots or something like that. Uh, 75 yards. The wind is into and to the left. 75. I gotta almost like hit it like 80. Back pin though. See, this is where things, you could start having fun with things because, 80 yard shot, people are like, oh, I'll just hit, a 60 degree or whatever the case is, right? But I'm going to hit a 54 and I'm going to hit just like this little, like, under the wind, not even really under the wind, just like more controlled, like, just kind of shot. I don't really have to worry about if it's going to spin too much or whatever the case is. So really, I'm going to feel like I hit like a 76 yard shot, really. It's going to be under the wind a little bit more. You go a smidge left. Roll up a little bit. I guess the greens aren't. I'd say putting has been the part of my game that's like really come along the most, like in the last like year. I was putting like poorly, I guess, to my standards now, right? The beginning of the year, and I was really just kind of like searching and just like trying to find that next thing that was gonna take my putting to a new level, right? So I came across this book. It's called Instinct Putting. He talks about in this book like really emphasizing kind of like what Zen Golf did, that putting book, or Putting Out of Your Mind, that book, right? It really emphasizes like target, like pay attention to the target. It's not about where the ball is going to end up finishing, but like where are you trying to hit the ball, right? It was about actually looking at the target when you're putting. And so I don't do this in tournament rounds, but catch me Monday through Wednesday, like catch me looking at the hole. For instance, I'm probably going to play somewhere up in here. I'll take a few looks, whatever, and then just before I'm about to putt, I'll do it here. I'll look at my target, and like that'll be that, and I'll putt, and I won't look at the ball, I'm going to try to look at that spot. And I just hit it really hard. Dang. I'm going to try it again. But just to see if I can make it. I guess there's my one-handed par. I've found it to be super helpful. So I'm going to do that spot again. The speed was better. So that's kind of what I do. I pick a spot outside the hole. You don't have to work, right? Like pick a spot right there, and that's what you look at, because you're so focused on like that blade of grass, right? And like everything else is like you just got to feel it, right? So that's been something that has taken my putting kind of to a new level, I think. And it's hilarious what it actually does when you take your own thinking process out of it and you just let, you know, your talent or your God-given ability to do something, right? And it's much more like fluid, like to do. Like I know a lot of people try to be as robotic as possible, whatever, and you know, take all the feelings out of it. And I don't want to be like that. Like I want to be an athlete. I want to, you know, do things athletically. I don't want to do them, you know, I guess like a robot. So yeah, that was a big thing. Start looking at the hole, people.